Hey everybody, welcome to lesson 4 of your first adventure ride. Today we're going to talk about locking things down. That's the focus for this particular lesson. We're going to go over some of the basics behind making sure you don't lose your stuff. Everybody wants to bring their tunes with them. This is more of a safety device than it is a musical device. But make sure that you strap in your cell phone. So don't just rely on the clips. Rubber strap in your phone so that you can jump. Believe me, you know, you're going to get out there on an adventure ride, you're going to kick some butt. You might get into a jump or two. Make sure that your cell phone can survive a jump. Right? This is an adventure ride. Now, along with that, you want to make sure that if you have a key or some other item in here, a locking item, you want to make sure that you don't lose that too. I have a 2-key locking system here. You want to make sure that you have the very best leash possible. When you're mounting cameras, use the smallest mount possible. I like to use maybe 1 hinge in here. I have had 2 or 3 hinges in here and was able to jump and hit potholes and things like that, and it's just great. But the more hinges you have, or the longer extension you have, the more your images are going to shake when you're recording the fun. Hey, I want to show you how you can record the fun and get a selfie. What you need is a really tough camera mount with a really strong plastic and nylon assembly. This is mostly aluminum. Alright, so very, very strong. Plastic isn't as good. I want an assembly which has as few knobs as possible. You want to lock that down to some place like your mirror. Keep it nice and high. Take your rubber wire tie and wrap it around your mirror. Now I'm going to keep going a couple times. I don't really need to spend the time to wrap that all the way around. But once you get it wrapped around your mirror, wrap it a few times around the base of your camera and then back around your mirror. That way, when you hit a jump or a rock or a pothole, that you don't lose your selfie camera. It's really important to keep everything 100% secure and safe for you and others. Here's a close-up of a proper wrap. I have wrapped around the base, going past the last joint that's unsecured, and I've wrapped all the way down onto the mirror stock. Now you'll see here that I have a joint here and there's a joint up here. I'm not worried about that joint so much, but I am worried about this joint down here. What I've done is I've replaced a knob with an actual bolt, and then I've run electrical tape around that bolt and all the way up the stalk, just in case the stalk cracks. I've also taped it in yellow and orange so that people can see it. Believe me, when people start misbehaving on the road and they see a camera with a long stalk, they slow down and they move away. This is not a rule. Somebody did cut me off the other day with this camera sticking out. And I pulled up to them and I showed them the camera. And they got very frightened. So, ride with your camera. Ride with your stalks marked in yellow. Ride with your camera marked in yellow. If you ever lose this on a jump or a pothole, you want to be able to find it in some tall weeds. Use metal wire ties and bungees to secure your pack to your back seat. If you're going to ride adventure style, you're going to be shaking a lot. You're going to be jumping a lot. You want to be able to take 100 jumps and go back there and still find your stuff. You don't want to have to reach back there and check to make sure your stuff is secure ever. If you find yourself reaching back there to check for your stuff, you haven't secured your bag enough. Secure any other items that might be loose, such as your center stand. Your center stand moves independently of everything else that's on your bike. When I jump, my center stand moves, so I've strapped it down. Put a polymer band on your side stand. Make sure that your side stand is tough enough to take a jump. Otherwise, you're going to go back there and find your center stand broken off. Just like in a video from a recent popular adventure rider. I wrap my crash bars for a couple of reasons. The primary reason is to make sure that when they fold back for some reason, say if I fall over, that they don't scratch the engine casing. They can also protect you in a fall should something snap in a violent crash. It's entirely possible that the metal can break and then you'll have a sharp piece hanging out. This wrapping gives you that extra layer of protection should something break off and leave a sharp end. So, wrap your crash bar. If you have any cables that aren't 100% secure from the factory, add some wire ties of some kind. This is a Velcro tie to tie everything down. Here's another example of something right here that I've added a wire tie for to secure it and lock it down. Your NC700X is a street bike that you're now jumping. Lock down anything in your motor that's shaking loose. If you've added any supplemental lighting, make sure all of your wiring can't shake much more than a few millimeters. Make sure that you wire tied everything up tightly, inside and out. Make sure your license plate is super secure. Factory is not good enough. Make sure you've wrapped your phone connection so it doesn't break while you're jumping. Also wrap your phone connection as it enters the bike. That way you don't have a break in the line. If you have a tall windshield, make sure it'll survive a jump. The factory mount on the NC700X for 2013 is not sufficient to mount a tall windshield. Make sure you've reinforced your crash bar so it doesn't bend away up here. This will make sure that it's a lot tougher. If you just happen to fall off your bike and it rolls over, you want this crash bar to survive a fall and you want your bike to rest on it. That'll make you a lot happier when you go to pick up your bike. I want to thank everybody for watching Lesson 4 today. I really appreciate your viewership. Have a great day.